This quick video is going to be all about how to cut glass tubing and rod. There's a few different methods and I'll showcase a couple of those for you in this video. So the first method is using jaws or Taglia tools. I mean, they're all basically the same. They've got a little wheel on the top. So I've got a length of 26 by 4 millimeter tubing. I've got a little measuring tape on the side of my bench, so I'm going to measure out a section that I want to cut. And then I'm going to gently place the jaws with the wheel side facing up on the top and squeeze with moderate pressure, but you don't want to go too hard because you'll shatter this tubing, and go cut around the whole entire outside diameter. Now when you're breaking it, you want to pull apart while you're breaking away from you. Always keep your hands pretty far away from that cut too. You don't want to catch yourself with that glass as you're jerking on it with a lot of pressure. So I'll show you one more time. Cut all the way around the outside diameter and pull and snap away from your body. Now I've got some 10 millimeter blow tube, and I've got another way to cut glass, which is a pair of disc nips. Now with the disc nips, you don't want to squeeze at all. I'll place it on the surface and then rock it back and forth like this right here. That's all it takes. You don't cut all the way around or nothing. Now you put that cut away from you and do the same thing. Pull apart as you're snapping away from your body. With the jaws, you can do just a small cut too. You don't have to go all the way around. Usually the bigger tubing you have to cut all the way around. The smaller tubing you can just put a little notch in there. Now I've got some rod. I'm going to do the same thing as the blow tube. I'm going to set it on the surface without squeezing at all and rock it back and forth. Now I'll show you what happens. If you squeeze, you're going to shoot the glass off like this. It's going to have little bits of dust flying everywhere. The glass is going to fall onto your table. It's probably going to break, and you can see here it broke a little fingernail off in addition to breaking a whole section off of what I just cut. So that's why we do the rocking motion instead. And you can see with the jaws here, I just do a little nip and cut. Now here I'm going to show you another method. If you can't get it to pull and snap apart, don't try to force it. What you should do instead is a thermal shock. So I'm going to, with the disc nips, cut all the way around fairly deep, but you don't want to apply too much pressure. You don't want to shatter it in your hand. Now in order to do this thermal shock method, it's usually preferable that you get it a little wet. And now I'm going to take a rod and I'm going to heat up just the end of that rod, get it nice and hot, and I'm going to place it in the same spot. Of that cut. Now normally you're not going to get this on the first or even the second heat, but you're slowly shocking it by making it really hot on one part and really cold on another, and it's gonna want to crack. But since you've scored it, it's gonna crack right along that score line. So you see here I go in for another heat place it directly right there. Now you don't want to push down too hard while it's molten, and you'll get this like flat button, and that can cause it to, when it does actually snap, it'll be a little jagged. As you can see, this takes a lot more time than the other two methods that I showed you, but it is a viable method if you don't have any other way. So for this last bit here, I just wanted to make sure that I included showing you guys that I do fire polish both ends of the blow tube that I cut. After cutting your lip so many times, you eventually just decide that you're gonna polish all your ends. It's just a nice, safe practice. Just make sure that you give them time to cool down before you try to use them. And that's going to do it for this one. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, and we'll see you guys on the next one.